Where's my?
Oh. Can't hear you, Win.
Sorry about that. It's not loading. So when you hear the video playing, that's when it's starting to run, actually. So
It's a tech issue that's not our fault.
Oh, cool.
No, it's not your fault.
Oh, good. I'll take that.
Okay. I'm going to try it again.
All right.
Okay.
There's no markers.
Oh. Hello.
Hey.
Welcome back to Talking Upstream, where we are laughing for reasons you don't know.
You'll find out later.
My name is Dylan.
I'm Zach.
And we are Some Nobodies, and this is, as you saw, Talking Upstream. Now, what Talking Upstream is, it is a 90-minute writer's room style show where Zach and I, each week, bring competing ideas to the table. We choose one of them, and then ideally, over the course of that next about 85 minutes, we develop that idea into something we can pitch, produce, or otherwise develop further.
Yeah, and if you normally watch our show, this segment usually goes to like a script reading or something showing Dylan's writing. We're kind of changing up things a little bit just because we got a bunch of friends and we kind of want to spread the love around.
And I was on vacation.
And Dylan was on vacation. So we're going to kind of go through this. And then once the interview process is over, then we're going to kind of hop back into our normal thing. And just Dylan and I are going to kind of talk a whole lot and try to make each other giggle.
We'll wear your ears out.
Yeah. But before all that, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Yourself?
I've been better.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been looking at your emails, and Quibi hasn't emailed you yet.
They haven't yet.
Yeah.
No, I'm hungry for that, and they haven't fed me.
It's pretty upsetting.
Yeah.
We create so much stuff.
We're here.
Yeah.
They just need to show up.
All right. Are you excited about this interview?
Speaking of showing up.
Yeah. A couple of our friends showed up, which is cool. So if it's okay with Dylan, we're going to go ahead and introduce Kevin and Donnie from our friends over at Whatever Talks.
Yeah.
So, Kevin and Donnie.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing?
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Number one, thank you very much for coming on here. We do appreciate it. And thanks for hanging with the technical difficulties while we learn how to interview somebody.
It's just standard operating procedure at this point.
Is this the first time you guys have heard of IBM TV?
It is for me.
Yeah.
Actually, it's my second time. You guys were on my show before and you talked about it.
Yeah, you're right. That's cool. Hey, we had a good time.
It's my first time.
Yeah, thanks for having us on there. So if you don't know, IBM TV is really trying hard to become one of the leaders of streaming content. And we hooked up with them, and they obviously gave us a very cool show where we get to display our content creating abilities.
I guess.
But you guys have your own podcast, which is different than the 7 of ours. Real quick, do you guys want to describe what your podcast is?
The show is called Whatever Talk, and is pretty kind of self-explanatory. We talk about whatever, like no matter what the topic is, no matter how raw it may be, and it doesn't make a difference. But I feel that we do something different by making fun of it. Like we make fun of reality. Like we take the stuff that everybody don't talk about per se the most and fixate on that and make fun of it.
It's pretty unfiltered from what I remember.
Yeah, we listened to a couple episodes. It's good. It is unfiltered, but it's good. Yeah, we're fans.
Yes. I want it to be that way on purpose because I want to re-innovate talk. Like I hear a lot of people out here just jaw-jacking and speaking the facts and all that stuff, but nobody wants to talk about the stuff that they're talking about. They just want to just blab it out there. And what me and Kev do, we kind of improv off each other about the stuff that we talk about. which is the making fun of reality portion. And we kind of have this unique ability to find humor in the darkest of topics.
Yeah. I mean, right now,
Right.
you know, it's a sad place. So like people want to laugh right now. So that makes sense. Kevin, real quick, what was whatever talk? Obviously that's whatever anybody wants to talk about. What is the weirdest topic that one of your guests has brought up?
I would say maybe not weird, but maybe a lot of I would say a lot of the COVID talk. It's just been very weird this year. Like take your pick. All of it is weird. So
yeah, it's true. We listen to a lot of podcasts, and the majority of them are pretty much just covering COVID, which is kind of boring, but that's what everybody wants to talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah. So where are you guys from?
You can go, Kev.
Detroit, Michigan, west side Detroit, Michigan.
Right on.
Me and Donnie, we grew up together. So.
Oh, no kidding.
Dylan's a Michigan kid.
I lived in Ypsilanti for a long time. My sister's out there.
Yeah, I know about Ypsilanti.
Yeah.
That's cool. Right. Did you guys do any projects before the podcast? I mean, you obviously were friends before then. Was there anything you guys worked on before this podcast?
Honestly, nope, man. We just been we took our savagery nature from growing up. And
very creative. You know what I'm saying? We grew up very creative, knowing how to create fun and just creating different things to keep us busy. Like we just basically took all that in a nutshell and just made a show out of it.
Yeah.
Right on.
Well, being this creative, is there like a bigger project you guys would want to work on, or is there a bigger goal that you're trying to get to with the podcast?
Yes, actually. Like you just said, it's just a talk show right now, and we just talking about a whole bunch of stuff, but being creative with it at the same time. But yes, I am starting to write more as far as scripts, and I want to actually be a feature film editor. So hopefully I'll be able to find somebody who to collab with and start putting my ideas on the screen or YouTube or all the media sites out there, all the streaming sites, and that is where we're going to be at for the next COVID years.
Yeah. Oh, we should have you back on for the show and have him pitch an idea.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Do that pretty easily.
Yeah, because we're hoping that IBM TV helps us take our ideas that we create on the show and put them onto a streaming service, which is why we call our show Talking Upstream. Yeah. Because we want to sell out and get to a Netflix or a Hulu or a Disney, obviously. That's
awesome,
cool.
Awesome. The biggest issue with us right now is that he's in a completely different region of the USA, and, and I'm like it's kind of like a one-man army over my end, because not saying Kev not doing his part, but as far as production-wise with him, I can't do other than whatever talk, but other stuff like I'm looking for grants. I'm looking for whatever means I can to try to jumpstart some stuff. And I'm talking to other people outside, but nobody want to come outside.
I know it's hard. Yeah. Before COVID, Dylan and I were actually trying to make our first movie.
Yeah.
And then this thing hit, and it's like nobody wants to do anything anywhere. So
we can fall back on podcast.
Yeah. And then we just started doing podcasts. Like, whatever.
Yeah,
we got nothing else. You got a question?
Yeah. So. Sorry, I do have a question. Give me just a second. As far as your content and your style goes, would you say that you have any clear influences? Anybody you pull from? Anybody that inspired you to start doing this, or you just kind of hit what felt natural to you?
Well, as far as me, I actually been doing this for about 10 years, so I probably could get a pension if the government knew about this. But so I'm still trying to make it out there. But I started out as on another show called Trophy Horrors, which was a video game based podcast, and we talked about give news on video games and our opinions on them. And then over time, and I have never knew what a podcast was at the time either. So this guy just seen my trophy list and said, "Hey, your trophy count is pretty high, and it's kind of like a basis to this podcast that he wanted to do." So he invited me on, and over time, I realized that I kind of did talking. And then over more time, I kind of realized, like, man, I kind of did talking about a lot of stuff besides video games.
Yeah.
So I thought about whatever talk, and Kev wasn't a part of the launch of whatever talk, but he is actually he's like a I guess he's a returning original. He was doing our practice shows or trying to get this thing started.
Right. I was there for the brainchild and everything.
Yes, he was there. But after that, he fell off and left me.
Yeah. To go back to your writing, past, what genre of writing do you go to? I think we tend to go to like kind of sci-fi and
speculative fiction.
Speculative fiction. Nice, thank you. What kind of writing do you guys do?
Well, we just did a little bit. We have a mini series called Change for 10, and we did some co-writing on that. It's also on YouTube. It's a 5-episode series. My very first acting ever, like besides acting the fool in real life.
Yeah.
My very first acting in the real screen, and I dropped into that by accident as well. And but Kev, you've been in it for a little bit. You want to talk about that?
Oh.
Or maybe did he freeze on me?
Oh, is he out? That's cool. We got more questions.
Well, I said in case he doesn't come back in. Kev.
Well, as far as acting, I did a little. I did a little bit here and there. I did a little bit.
You're falling in and out, Kev.
Yeah.
But
well, Donnie, you said you're a video game player. What's like some of your favorite video games? Dylan's a big gamer.
I game a fair amount.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite of all times is.
It must be a major delay, man. I'm sorry.
Oh no!
Oh, you're cool.
Kind of late.
We know how it goes.
But yeah, my favorite game series of all times is Metal Gear Solid series.
Oh, nice. Love that game. Well,
love it. I don't think nobody can tell a story like Metal Gear.
When Metal Gear hit the PlayStation, and that was the first time, like when you're playing Psycho Mantis, and you had to like change the controllers, and I was fighting a guy for like a whole week. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then my cousin's like, put the controller in second. I'm like, dude, that was the first video game that just caught me off guard. I'm like, all right, you're trying to do something cool. Yeah, I like that.
Kojima has some ideas, and he's very good at executing them.
Yeah.
Yes. And the thing about that is for us real gamers out there in the world, we didn't have no YouTubes at the time.
Yeah, you had to figure it out.
Swapping that controller into the second port.
Yeah.
we were real gamer OGs.
Yeah, for real. I know you had to go to a game store and talk to somebody and have them like,
hey man, what did you do?
Man, are you buying
like 18 times. He read my memory card 5 times, and that killed me because he didn't like the save files I had on there. And
that game is so cool. All right. Another kind of we're a bunch of nerds. Also, another one of the nerd questions we like to ask people is, who's the best Batman? Best Batman.
The best Batman.
Yep.
Are you talking about like the big screen Batman or anime or any in general?
Any.
It's kind of hard because I'm not a DC fan.
Yeah, but Arkham games are great though.
I was just about to say I'm going with the Arkham series because honestly, I didn't even care about Batman until the Arkham series of video games came out.
Yeah, those games definitely work great.
Yeah.
Is Kevin a gamer too?
He played Mario Kart every now and then on his mobile phone, but no real gamers don't use mobile phones.
All right, so we had a couple more questions for you. Don't want to take up too much of your time. But I know Dylan went over like influences, like what were some influences? If you could just fight any podcast and take their spot, what podcast would you fight?
Not really.
That's hilarious, but that was a huge delay, Cam.
I know.
I think you answered about 3 questions back.
Oh, that's cool.
It happens.
Yeah.
Hey, that sucks, man, with your connection, man. That sucks.
Yeah. Dude, that happened to us like the first 3 times we tried to do a show. So
Yeah.
Don't worry, that happens. But yeah, fighting any podcast. What podcast would you play and kick out?
Shoot. I don't really want to kick out any podcast because I feel like they're like, well, all the people that I have talked to, like besides you guys and my guests that I have on the show, but through forums and social media, it seems like all the ones I talk to and the people I talk to who have their own podcasts and the ones I have listened to, they seem like they do it out of, I guess, the same reasons I do it. Like they got something to say and they use this kind of like a audible diary, I guess. Yeah. And so it's kind of hard for me to kick out, but I guess I'll go with, since I'm not on their show anymore, Trophy Whores. Yeah. So I started out with.
Get them out. All right. And then the last question that we asked.
I'd fight Ira Glass from This American Life.
You would fight Ira Glass.
Glass jaw.
You talk about his glass jaw.
Sorry about that.
No, you're cool, man. Last question that we asked everybody. What do you think is the dumbest idea for a podcast? Just the worst idea.
The dumbest idea for a podcast.
It doesn't even need to exist. Just the worst idea.
Can you guys show me an example of what you feel or just the dumbest? Maybe I can.
So on one of our shows, we call it the podcast, a podcast show. We review very bad podcasts. One of the ones we found was a lady who goes around and gets signatures because she wants to be able to buy other people's boogers. And because you can buy blood and you can buy plasma, she thinks that it's her constitutional right to buy boogers. So I think that a podcast about the rights of boogers is a very bad idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that you say that, wow, that is a very dumb idea. So I guess I'll go with I guess I go off of a spinoff of that show and asking people to taste their boogers. That'll be like gross and a bad idea because I believe that's how Rona even started.
That's true. Yeah, that's how we get away to the top.
We have Rogan.
All right, cool. Donnie, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you very much.
Kevin showing up.
Yeah, thank you and Kevin very much. We're definitely going to push whatever talk. But we do have one more thing for you, if that's okay. What our show is about is that Dylan and I both bring a very stupid idea to the plate, and then one of us, and now you, are going to choose which one we go through, and then we're going to work that out all the way down. So the one that Dylan brought last time was the idea that...
So the idea I had, it's like a fantasy sort of thing, like Warcraft or Lord of the Rings, but instead of being presented as kind of a serious, like, good versus evil thing, it's a story of the struggle between magical poachers and the Department of, like, Magical Wildlife who have to try and stop them. And I imagined it kind of similar to maybe, like, Parks and Recreation or Reno 911, where it's these magical animal control officers sparring off on people who are trying to smuggle a unicorn into, like, a tavern or something like that.
Yeah, I guess like if Bright were a sitcom.
Yeah, kind of like that.
So that was the idea that Dylan brought last time. The one that I'm going to bring this time, I saw a bunch of stuff about time loops recently. So I had an idea of people that are all stuck in a time loop together, but they've been in that time loop for about 25 years, and they don't care about ever getting out. They're just kind of stuck in it, and it's their daily, just what they do every single day, knowing that it's going to groundhog and get them back to nothing. So I like the idea of seeing the same people over and over again without trying to get out of a time loop. So camping time loop mishaps.
Yeah. Oh, camping?
Yeah, I like camping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is easy for me.
Okay.
Extremely easy. Not the second one at all.
That's cool.
All right.
I say that because I freaking hate anything dealing with time travel because you could just use that as the loophole to why.
That makes sense. Yeah. Time travel is a very easy thing to fix.
And I don't like that because anything can happen and you just blame it on time travel.
Fair. Yeah, cool.
So
we're gonna go with unicorn smuggling.
Yeah,
cool.
unicorns is better. And also they have it has a horn, a uni horn.
You can't beat that. Oh, that's cool. All right, so we're gonna go with unicorn smuggling. Donnie, is there anything you want to pitch real fast before we let you go?
I want to say, please go listen to Whatever Talk. I guarantee you will get a nice laugh out of it. And if you don't get a nice laugh out of it, you need to grow a sense of humor. And we also have spin-off shows of Whatever Talk. We got Whatever Talk Gaming, Anime, Talking to Myself, Top 5. I got a new show, Challenge Your Beliefs, that I'm in the process of putting out. So yes, go listen to us. We on various media apps everywhere. Home is Anchor, and if you lose us, if you can't remember where to listen to us, type it in on Google. We're the first search that Google gives us. Thanks to Google. I ain't even paying for that, but thank you. And yes. Oh, and Kev, again, he's having tech issues. He lost his connection. He just sent me a text. He says, thank you for having us on, and
our heart goes out to him.
Appreciate that.
Dude, we know what it's like to have technical problems. But yeah, we really appreciate you, Kevin, and Whatever Talk. And IBM TV does a show called Podcasters Tuesdays, and maybe we'll try to get you on there just to kind of meet some of our podcasters to get some better networking going on.
Awesome.
But other than that, man, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Really do.
Thank you. Appreciate that as well.
Awesome.
I love the show that you guys was on too. When you was on my show, that you that when you was like, it'd be funny if you just end it right now and I just cut it right there.
Yeah.
I noticed.
Yeah, we didn't really know, but we were cool with it. So yeah, if you ever want to have us on, we will always go on there. We like your show. It's cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like it'll be a breakaway from the censorship.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you very much. Thank you.
Right on. Take it easy out there.
Okay. Unicorn smuggling.
Yeah.
That was good. I didn't even write the other one up there. So I have to save some time.
Cool.
Okay.
So here we are.
Okay.
Let's get back in the saddle, so to speak.
First off, thank you very much for Whatever Talk, Donnie and Kevin. Super cool guys.
Yeah.
Go check them out if you're into uncensored.
Yes. Content.
It is uncensored, just so you know. And that's not really our style, but they are very fun guys. They have really interesting conversations, and they're cool. So if you're cool with uncensored, go check them out, Whatever Talk. Sure. But first and foremost, obviously, thank you to IBM TV. We really appreciate you giving us a slot, giving us some time to just chat. That's what Dylan and I do best. So thank you very much. And like Dylan said at the beginning, please go to somenobodies.com if you want to see a lot more weird stuff that we're doing. We're actually in the process of trying to make our own movie. So, with the help of IBM TV, they're going to help us do this.
TBA.
And so keep checking on that.
Cool. So
let's hop into this.
So unicorn smuggling.
So
I've tried. It's been sitting in my brain since I first announced it like a month ago.
Yeah.
And I've been trying not to develop it very strongly.
Yeah. I did not think about it at all.
I pictured this as a feature, as like a 90-minute movie.
Like a standalone movie. Okay.
Obviously it's a fantasy thing, so there's potential for franchise stuff there.
Yeah, of course.
But I pictured it as like a fake documentary about a day in the life of magical animal control.
A day in the life of magical animal control. So like we're following the company of people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You'd follow like a squad of anti-poachers. I'm not quite sure what to range. I guess you could call them rangers in the modern sensibility and the D&D fantasy style sensibility, where they're wandering around, they're ranging, and their whole thing is protection of the wilderness.
Yeah. So we're going to go with unicorn smuggling / well, I guess we'll just call them rangers for right now.
Yeah.
All right. So the main focus of this is obviously from the Rangers' point of view.
Yeah.
So using your degree, right?
Sure.
You're a very expensive piece of paper.
Yeah.
What style of storytelling do you want to go into here?
So I figure this is pretty standard. The fantasy genre, unfortunately, is relatively cursed, where a lot of the substance that comes from it are the set dressings and the spectacle of it.
Sure.
Which I don't think we need to shy away from, because we are doing a genre element. And that is admittedly, though I write genre almost like almost exclusively. That is why the genre in speculative fiction stuff is generally looked down on by the people who are more high-minded literary folks.
Yeah. Another question, if that's okay.
Sure.
What things do you try to keep in mind when trying to write a story that is not only fictional, but kind of almost trope heavy?
I try to make sure that when I use tropes, when, not if, because tropes are tools, they're techniques. They're storytelling techniques in the same way that a certain camera movement might be a technique, in the way that a dolly zoom is a technique. Tropes are literary techniques, which means they have uses, and they're not always bad, but they need to be used in a way that they do not come across as cliche. Cliche is when a trope turns overdone.
Sure.
So right here, I'm thinking, if we do a and I've always envisioned this specific one as pretty heavy in the Warcraft element, because Warcraft is very heavy on magical creatures. Maybe bring in The Witcher, because The Witcher is all about hunting down magical monsters, where monsters are commonplace. People live in... They are used to having them around. I imagine that the people who work for the Rangers are probably relatively well-trod in this sort of interaction. And I suspect that it would probably be a more tongue-in-cheek deconstruction of a fantasy world.
Yeah, so it's going to have to come off a little comedic.
Yeah. But that's
just because it is a fake thing.
And that also means that we can take very common tropes and turn them on their heads.
Sure.
And I'm thinking primarily like the Empire is always evil, that sort of thing. You can call it the Empire and have everybody kind of acknowledge some sort of problem with it, that sort of thing.
Now, do the Rangers work for the Empire?
I imagine they're probably a state function. It's probably important for the government to control very powerful magical monsters that could run around and, like, you know, if a dragon's in the area, they might have an alert system where it's like, caution, dragon warning. This does not mean a dragon has been spotted in your area, but conditions are favorable for a dragon to appear.
Yeah, cool.
Hide your gold.
A tornado thing.
Yeah, hide your gold.
Okay, so you say that we're going to follow the Rangers, pretty much. Now, is this a group of like 4 or 5?
I imagine 3 or 4. 5 might be... 5 is doable, but a 5-man band, I think, is probably better fit for a series because you have more time to look at them each as a character.
Yeah.
I think 3 or 5 gives you that really strong triangle.
Yeah.
Or gives you the interplay that comes from having 4 different connections.
Now, when you're building a group of 3 or 4 or more, how important is it to either fall back on your main character types, or does that matter at all when starting out?
I think, particularly when you're dealing with genre, such as fantasy, it is important to have a recognizable cast of characters.
Right.
You have your window, a character who is new to the situation, if not the setting, because he's lived in this setting his entire life, presumably, unless they're sheltered. So you have someone who's probably new to the squad, or relatively newer to the squad than the rest of them, and it's notably such, so that if you need to, you can have a character explain stuff to them, and thus the audience.
Right.
You probably have a grizzled veteran who can be gruff at first but lovable, heart of gold.
Obviously.
And then and then the other 2 and the other fleshing out elements of them can depend on what kind of situations they're in. We could have a bookworm. We could have a gadgeteer. We could have a berserker warrior. We could have a sneaky person.
Now, are these based on current movie tropes, or are these like literary character types? Because I know that there's like the 20 literary character types, like the mother and the whatever.
It's more of a recent pop culture style of classifying your character where they are, and admittedly, a little video gamey, where you are classifying people based on their roles.
Now, what would you say started that current pop culture trend? Is there like a movie that had like the 4 basic, because you know Ghostbusters has the nerd, the suave guy, the businessman, and the
going back when it comes to fantasy, the codifier, if not the creator for a lot of tropes, is Lord of the Rings. You have the 3 main, you have Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas as kind of like the 3 adventuring archetypes.
Yeah, which is your ranger, your elf, and your dwarf.
Yeah. And then as pop culture has kind of taken from that and evolved, it's kind of evolved that. And you can think a lot of people point towards, interestingly enough, Power Rangers as the codifier of the 5-man band.
Oh, yeah.
You have the Lancer, who's like the leader and the go-getter. You have the Ace, who's good at stuff. You have the big dumb guy. You have the small fast person. And you have the bookworm / like wizard.
What was the green?
The 6th Ranger. And they come on later once the formula is established.
He was handsome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There tends to be an outside addition later on once things become established to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But then they do find their spot in the hierarchy.
Yeah. And that's usually to form love triangles or just a new rift.
Yeah, to disrupt the status quo. But I think we stick to 3 or 4.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Now, did you have like one person in mind that is like the main, that is like the leader of the group, or is it like this is a strong team like the Ghostbusters?
I figured it would probably
and I mean Ghostbusters 2016, not Ghostbusters 20.
I figured it would be kind of close to, I'm also pulling a little bit from Brooklyn 911, where you have kind of the core group of detectives who kind of, it's not quite how police actually do it, but they kind of focus on their cases.
Okay.
So I figured like a strong team of 3 or 4 who are probably dealing with their own stuff outside whatever main case they're doing here.
Okay. And so we got 3 or 4 people. Yeah. Now, feature film.
Sure.
90 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do 90. I don't want to do a fantasy epic here.
Now, so we have a closed timeline, right? So we're doing one story.
Yeah.
Do you have something that is like... is there a main drive yet?
I think the main case they're trying to crack on this one is that someone is trying to smuggle a unicorn somewhere it doesn't belong. They are either smuggling it for a private collector, which unicorns, I'm just basing this off like some image of unicorns in my mind, don't belong on someone's pasture. They need to be in an orchard. They
shouldn't be sold in a store. They should be kept in a backyard.
Yeah. No, they shouldn't be kept on personal property.
What if Sam Jack sells you one?
I think like 30% of your subscribers watch that movie and then everybody forgets about it.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
We watched that movie.
We did. That was a pilot program for Some Nobodies.
Yeah, we tried to do movie reviews and started with Unicorn Store.
No, I'm seeing this as like we start off and we are in whatever I'm gonna use modern day vernacular to describe all this. Because I see this as, like I said, a tongue-in-cheek modern story told comically in the setting of a fantasy series.
Okay, now when you say modern story, are you saying like modern cities, or are you saying timeline like The Witcher, or like Lord of the Rings, where it's like
more modern cities where there are analogs to current day stuff that is provided in a fantasy context? So like TV, not TVs, we're not gonna, not TVs, but something like maybe they have communicator like gem earrings or something that lets them communicate to people magically. But I'm seeing this as like they start off in the precinct, they get word that someone has been trying to smuggle a unicorn out of the city or into the city or something.
Okay.
And it follows them across their day or across the length of the case trying to figure that out.
So kind of the beginning of the story is the word of the smuggling?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, now a couple things that we're going to need, obviously. Are you going to have a window character?
Yeah.
And is that character one of a ranger or one of a fictional thing? Because you obviously could tell the story from both sides.
How do you mean fictional thing?
Say that it is something that is in the fairy tale world, like a minotaur.
Oh, I see.
Right, so the window character could be opposed to them, but then learn that they're good.
I don't see that the rangers necessarily should exclude monster people. Like there could be a minotaur ranger. Yeah. Okay. Maybe he's just a member of the SWAT and he holds like the battering ram.
Sure.
And he constantly objects to being called a battering ram because he's a bull.
Nice.
I don't know, something like that.
Now,
I'm seeing him. Man,
because we don't want to do what Bright did and make analogs for races.
No,
like how the orcs.
It is
are
clumsy
Latinos
and lazy writing, and it commodifies the struggle that people have gone.
Yeah, I don't want to do anything.
No, we're not going to do that.
So now the Rangers obviously are not a team of 3 humans and 1 non-human.
Nah, I don't think so.
All right, so I guess we need to give sentience to some animals then?
Sure.
Right.
I like the idea of one of them being a minotaur.
Okay.
Yeah. I think for audience sake, the window character should be a human.
Boo.
I know, but
no, is this
the
like
reason that the prawns in District 9 were humanoid is because he tried going with a non-humanoid design, and even the director Neil Blomkamp was like, we just couldn't figure out how to make them relatable.
Well, they also didn't speak English.
That's true.
Yeah. But okay, that makes sense.
I think there needs to be a human as an anchor.
Sure.
If it was a TV show on like a network that let us do whatever we want, have like a non-human team. Yeah, be great.
And I guess like when you come into like a story where it can be trope heavy, the human character can be the anything.
Yeah,
it could be the nerd, and that's funny. It could be the whatever. All right. So what are some more things you can find on the Rangers?
I'm seeing an elf because elves are traditionally portrayed as guardians of nature.
Now, can this be like a very old elf, like Riggs?
I remember 650 years ago when I was just a lad.
Yeah,
sure.
Like Murtaugh, where he's like, I'm getting too old for this.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
How old are you again? 1,500 years and 3 days. 3 days? We missed your birthday. We don't acknowledge birthdays.
Damn these new kids. All right, cool.
Old elf.
Yeah, I like an old elf.
Yeah. And one more. I think 4 is probably a good
4
number
makes
for this
sense.
team. Do we want something that's just completely out there?
I was thinking something that's on like 4 like things.
4 legs.
But I don't want to say a centaur because obviously we have the Minotaur. So then I was going to go Pegasus, but that doesn't make sense because if unicorns are not sentient, most likely Pegasus aren't either.
I mean, who says unicorns aren't on some level? We could.
Okay, if you're making the thing that's being smuggling similar to a human, then we're
veering into some really tough territory.
Right, and that's going to make the storytelling a little bit harder.
That's fair. Okay. No, that's fine.
Now, we don't want to do a dwarf because that's boring.
I think dwarf is boring.
Yeah. So what's another creature? We could do like a Medusa, right?
Medusa would be snake woman.
Snakehead or full snake.
Snake legs, like a snake legs.
Snake legs, the one.
they call her snake legs. I think the D&D term for that sort of creature is a not a lamia.
No. It's obviously snake legs.
I like saying a Medusa, but she has the naga lower body, the snake lower body,
a reverse Medusa,
torso and arm of a woman.
Yeah,
might have snake hair, might just have scales.
No, worm hair.
All right,
whatever. All right, so we got our Minotaur, our human, our old elf.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just one.
Sure. No, it's 3 Keebler elves in a trench coat.
We're all getting too old for this.
No, but that's a bit we're going to use where they find like a goblin.
Oh, obviously.
3 goblins in a trench coat.
We're big fans of 3 things in trench coats at all times. All right, so this is our main team.
Yeah.
Now, is one of these when you get like cop/team things,
Mm-hmm.
there's always the new person to the team, right?
Yeah.
Or
I would assume the human would be the newest member. Because of these 3, I would assume human has the shortest lifespan.
We could do what Brooklyn Nine-Nine did and have the window character the boss of all of them, which I think is a pretty clever move.
They have a new boss in the precinct.
That's how it started.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would give them a lot of exposition.
That's true. It gives them an exposition outlook, and it also explains why they might be really gung-ho to do this, because they will impress the new boss.
Now, let's see if our minds are linked.
Okay.
And on the count of 3, we're going to say a mythical creature that could be in charge of all these things. Ready? 1, 2, 3. A griffin.
Santa Claus.
Stop. Santa Claus.
I don't know. I didn't know what you were going to say.
Oh,
a griffin?
Yeah. I think like a big half eagle, half lion
I think
thing.
a griffin would be sentient, but a unicorn wouldn't.
I think they have opposable thumbs.
Griffins?
Probably.
Lions? Lion paws have opposable thumbs?
Not lions, but griffins aren't real.
Neither are unicorns. Are opposable thumbs your measure for sentience?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I hate squirrels.
I just wanted to check.
You know I hate squirrels.
Let's make it...
Okay, not a griffin.
I like where your head's at. I like the idea of it being absolutely non-humanoid.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
What if it's a dragon?
Yeah.
They get a dragon boss.
That's way better.
We start off with them lounging at their desks. And they're like, yeah, new boss is coming in. You here? Wait, you got a new guy? Well, yeah, after the last one. And then they had some comical, horrific incident happen to the last boss.
Love it, yep.
Yeah,
all right, so
they really want to whip us into shape.
So we're going to say the dragon becoming a new boss is the very beginning.
Is the intro.
Yeah. And then we're going to find out quickly after this about the smuggling storyline.
Yeah.
Because you got to have like, here's the story, here's the world, here's funny stuff, here's relationships.
You gotta have a little bit of world building at the start. Mm-hmm. You gotta have a little bit of character building, a little bit of interaction before the actual inciting incident, so that we don't kick them off on immediately on shaky footing.
Well, also
shaky footing.
Yeah, of course. But also, like when stories start out with like high, fast action, you, the viewer or the reader or whatever's getting into this can feel a little unsettled and be like, oh, I don't understand this. So you gotta, especially when you're putting somebody into a new world, you gotta have them acclimate, I think.
Do we want? Okay, bear with me.
All right.
Do we want to start off like 6 months before this starts with the Minotaur, the Elf, and Snake Legs, and a 4th person doing a mission? 4th person gets killed. we start off with a new boss, and now they have to deal with a human in their team.
They're anti-human?
They might just be like...
They're just anti-rookie.
Humans, yeah, we're anti-rookie.
Yeah.
And not only are you a rookie, you're a human. You've got what? 40 years you're capable, and in the last 30 you have to sit down all the time?
Yeah, you jerk. Jerk human.
And they're like, yeah, humans have like a 70-year lifespan, and they're no good for a third of it.
Yeah. Oh, you might as well be a dog. So, all right, cool. So,
well, we don't have to do that.
No, I like that.
But if we're looking at tropes for police things and special operative things, it's very common for the opening to be like, aim for the bushes.
Yeah. Movie doesn't start where the movie starts.
Yeah. Have you seen the other guys?
I don't think so.
No?
If it's a Will Ferrell movie, probably not.
Okay.
Unless Adam McKay directs Will Ferrell, I don't watch it.
I think it might be Adam McKay.
I love it.
All right.
No, I haven't seen it yet. Okay.
But it starts off following like the hot shots, and then they get taken out of the picture.
Yeah.
And it follows the people who the other guys who
replace
them. But we don't have to do that. I kind of like the idea that it starts off with them getting a new boss.
Well, it could be like, say, whatever they're doing, it's like a big drug deal, whatever the drug is here.
Yeah.
And say the person who is not the human and the old boss together die in a battle thing. So that way they don't like the new boss.
Sure.
They don't like the new guy already.
The prequel scene is them pulling off a raid without a hitch.
Yeah.
And then they get overconfident at the end, and a goblin cannon or something goes off.
Yeah, like an orc flatulence bomb.
An orc stink bomb.
Yeah.
But the stink is the smell of your corpse.
Right, there's something like on a giant that blows up.
Sure.
Yeah. And then that takes them all out. That's cool. I'm into that. Then you get like immediate camaraderie, you get teamwork and whatever. And if you do that, that's a really cool way of pushing a story fast and making people interested in your plot line, because now they're already invested. When you jump forward, they already feel like they know what's going on. That's cool. Okay, so what are some other things that people are smuggling? Because I guess we should understand how bad this place is.
So I'm assuming, let's say that this takes place in like a fantasy version of like New York.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Let's go with the big one. It's a fantasy analog to New York City.
Is it called New York?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. We can call it Pyre. Pyre. Because it burns everybody out when they live there.
Sure.
Welcome to Pyre. If you're here long enough, you'll get burned out too.
I feel like you've been sitting on this for a while, but sure.
I have a list of like names that are good for fantasy elements, and you just kind of plug them in where you need them.
So we're going to call this the World of Pyre, or blank for short.
Pyrestorm.
Wold.
Woolard.
Okay. Now, is there a crime syndicate? Is there a group that they're going against?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
There's probably the equivalent of like a Dark Lord, but instead of being like a Dark Lord, he's either a crime boss or a political figure.
Or a teddy bear or something.
Or he could be a werebear.
A werebear?
Like a werewolf, but instead of turning into part wolf, he turns into part bear.
I thought it was a wolf that turned into a bear. No, but it's a human that turns into part.
That would be that's not a bad idea, actually.
Wait, werebear. That's terrifying. Make wolves bigger.
Yeah.
So we do need the group of bad people, and I'm assuming that they're not going to be a collective of the same, right?
Probably not.
So they need
that'd be pretty cosmopolitan.
So we need like
unless you just want humans to be the bad guys.
No, we're not going to reverse blade it.
Okay. I'm just saying.
No, I don't like that.
Putting it out there.
Humans are white people. So I think that we should.
Anyway.
No, we need a big bad. We need the group that the big bad does, and then we need a reason why the unicorn is so important. Yeah. Right.
Something like, do they have a name or are they unnamed?
Let's get to that soon.
Okay.
But let's get to the big bad. I don't know yet, but I think we need a big bad first.
Big bad.
So what's another mythological creature that isn't look evil?
Right.
That is. Now, when you said werebear, I was thinking like a teddy bear that got crazy, but then I went off onto a very different tangent. So what's like another?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like a.
I'm trying to think of what the opposite of a dragon, what like a similar but opposite to a dragon would be. So
like a mole man.
Mole man would be not bad.
But mole man's always obviously a bad guy. So what are some positive?
We could make him a dwarf and amp up that like he's just looking to obtain things. because rare creatures get you coin, and dwarves like coin.
That's true. Maybe we
could make it halflings, which is the non-copyright infringement version of a hobbit from D&D.
Nah,
you don't like a cadre of little like short crime bosses who are on the forefront. They're cozy and they cook a lot.
I don't know.
And then they run it like a mafia.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I see it more. That seems more like Moana and like those coconut men that.
Haven't seen Moana.
Oh my god. Okay, we have to stop this recording. Just kidding. You ever seen Moana? Check it out. I like something that looks a little more cuddly.
It could be elves.
Elves make sense.
Cuddly.
Sure. I mean, I'm okay with that. But elves always seem kind of devious sometimes.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah. Right? Like, they're always so young looking and slick. And like, where do you get your fashion from? I don't understand who makes this. Do elves make that for other elves? Just seems stupid, because what do they wear then? But I think that it should be something that would not look suspicious.
Gnome. What's
a gnome? Oh, like David the Gnome?
I guess.
What do gnomes do?
They tend to be jewelers in like a lot of portrayals. They're like subterranean hobbits.
Oh, they're the goblins of Harry Potter then?
Those are goblins, but those are just J.K. Rowling's problems put on the screen.
Oh.
I mean, let's see. What's cuddly and fantasy appropriate for being a bad guy?
Right. That's what I'm thinking. I think it should be something that's a little more comedic and maybe understated.
Something like Ewok.
Yeah, sure. What else falls in the lore of this stuff? Like, what's the positive things in this world?
Positive things in this world.
Yeah. What are like not?
We could make our own thing up.
We can make our own thing.
Yeah. It's like a little furry, like a Furby.
Can imaginary creatures come to life here?
Sure.
Is that a thing?
Why not? Are you thinking someone's imaginary creature, they summoned something?
Yeah. Somehow
what if they summoned some sort of infernal power and it shapeshifted into a more friendly face?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
And we don't realize that the cause behind this one. Okay.
Like, what if teddy bears were, say, like modeled after dangerous bears that just looked cuddly?
That's not a bad idea. What if unicorn, either horn or blood, could anchor something in like the material world, and the person is trying to get this unicorn so they can anchor themselves?
So you're saying if somebody gets a unicorn horn, they're able to make a magical spell?
Yes.
We don't want to make Bright.
Unicorn horns are in Bright?
That's the whole point of that movie.
It's a wand, isn't it?
That's a unicorn horn, I think.
I don't think so.
It's a magic wand?
I think it's a wand.
I thought it was a horn.
They call it a wand. I
think it's a horn. Maybe I just don't like that movie enough.
No. Me neither. I saw it once, which is a rare thing for a fantasy movie like that.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I saw it the very first day it came out. I'm like, all right, I get it. Okay, so I'm okay with that.
Sure.
So let's say unicorn fur.
The hair from its mane or tail.
Yeah, let's just say that it's not the corn that does anything.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
That thing's stupid. It's like a fingernail.
Okay, so we've got a bad guy who was...
What if a unicorn is the bad guy?
Smuggling itself?
Trying to smuggle out its like wife or something. Like maybe
so we find out that the smugglers are the good guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
When are
Rangers
good guys?
So it's unicorn trafficking. But in like a positive way.
That's how
they view it?
That's how it would be seen.
Okay.
/ smuggling.
So the unicorn is trying to get...
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm out of there. That's too much thinking.
Okay.
But I do like it to be a cuddly animal. What's a different cuddly animal of mythical things?
Do we have talking animal people in this setting?
I like gnomes.
Okay.
Well, we have talking minotaurs.
We do have minotaurs and snake people. That's fair.
A fish person.
A fish person, like Abe Sapien style?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. We don't do enough fish people stuff.
We don't. One of the first ideas I ever pitched you was fish people.
I know, and I swear I sat on it for days. I'm like, I have no story with fish people. And I'm like, reverse fish people? Maybe reverse? I couldn't get anything. All right, so we're going to say a fish person.
Yeah, and let's just say that unicorn parts are inherently magical. Like, you eat it and you get magic powers.
Yeah.
You make clothing out of unicorn hair and it's really powerful.
Yeah.
Unicorn blood can be done, I don't know, stuff can be done with it. So a fish person's a bad guy. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
And then
the pier is
down at the docks,
Ugh.
the warehouses.
Ugh.
So
it gives me shivers thinking about it.
We are at 50 minutes. Do we want to give a refresh at what we're doing?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Hey, if you're just tuning in, this is Talking Upstream. My name is Dylan. This is Zach. We are Some Nobodies, as you can see at the top of our whiteboard.
Some Nobodies.
What's the whiteboard for? I'm glad you asked.
Good question.
We are here to discuss ideas and how they develop into stuff that you can turn into bigger stuff, solid stuff, hard stuff.
Yeah.
The good stuff.
Like granite.
Granite?
What is it?
Or Grant? I thought you said, okay, you said granite.
Hard stuff.
It sounded for a second like you said Grant, and I go, I don't know Grant.
No, but no. I meant
He's
Grant.
hard.
Yeah.
No, we are here to develop ideas, and what we do each week, we bring one idea each to this table. We write it on the whiteboard, unless one of them is good enough that you don't even get to the second one. We choose one of those ideas, or we have a guest choose for us, and we spend the next amount of time that we have within 90 minutes, turn that into something that we can pitch, further develop, give us some firm footing on which we can rest the ideas that we create.
Yeah, and today we had the fun dudes over at Whatever Talk. We had Kevin and Donnie on, and they chose that we do unicorn smuggling. So Dylan has put down a bunch of cool things. We started timelines, didn't really get too far in that, but we have figured out that we're going to follow a group of rangers that are like mythical creature anti-smugglers. Protectors, yeah.
Department of Magical Wildlife.
And we're trying to stop a unicorn smuggling from happening. We do know that they have a dragon as a boss, and he is brand new to the precinct. We also have a brand new human to the thing. And we just developed that fish people are the bad guys.
Yeah.
So before we keep on that, we just want to throw another quick thank you to IBM TV for letting us just blabber and talk really about the fun stuff.
The fools are giving us 90 minutes in which we can just talk.
Yeah. Like, you guys want to talk about nerd stuff for an hour and a half? I'm like,
yeah, we do.
So yeah, thank you to them, and thank you to our Patreon members.
Now we have an audience.
That's true. And if you do want to support us in this show and the things we're doing in the future, you can always go to patreon.com/Some Nobodies. We would appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan would appreciate it.
Yeah.
You guys will even appreciate it when you see what we're doing.
Yeah.
But let's get back into this.
Yeah.
So we know that the cop came in here.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to do the trope where the new boss is the bad guy.
No.
That's annoying.
No.
We do know that fish people want...
But I think we should make the dragon very, very concerned about PR.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I like more than anything is gold. You know what gets gold? Good PR.
Quality
you know what
PR.
does good PR? Good agents.
Gold. Oh, yeah, good agents.
Which we pay with gold.
Okay, so we need or don't need gold.
I'm just imagining this massive red dragon in a briefing room. Just like,
you have to go out back to talk to him. He can't fit in the building.
You have to go to his lair.
Yeah, you guys have to go to recess and talk to the boss.
You see all the construction they're doing next door? Yeah, they're putting the boss's lair in.
It's a dust.
Is that what all the treasure chests are from? He carries it with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like shiny things.
It's like a satchel, but he won't wear it.
So I'm seeing the storyline as...
What if, like, fish people need something of the unicorn so they can walk on land?
Okay.
Do we do land stuff ever?
Land stuff? What do you mean?
Like
land rights? I don't quite know where you're going.
Yes, on land rights.
Okay.
But, like, using something just for a normal ability. Like, if they're using it just to get onto, like, the land stuff, then it's not really they're being bad.
Sure.
But it's bad. Because they're not supposed to have it.
I'm imagining that they want to use the magic in the unicorn pieces in a spell that would give them all the ability to breathe above land, like, without having to duck back underwater.
Okay.
Maybe they can, like, hold their breath above water, and then they have to go back, or they get dry out or something.
Or orbs.
Oh yeah, there's probably some sort of apparatus.
Yeah, but they don't want it anymore.
No, yeah.
Why do they gotta live there with an apparatus? They want to be like everybody else.
Maybe what if we go Lethal Weapon and they're emissaries from the Water Kingdom?
Oh my god.
Let's do it.
Diplomatic community.
Let's do it.
Okay. Sure.
We don't have to do the diplomatic immunity bit, but they are diplomats, and the bad guys are the embassy of the fish people.
Yeah, love that.
Okay. Blub blub. Diplomatic immunity.
Blub blub. All right, you get that.
It's just been revoked.
Yeah.
And then he unsheaths his sword.
Krugerrands. Okay, so what would you say is the ending of this?
I would say the ending of this is a big raid on the embassy. They have a ritual chamber in their basement where they're going to sacrifice the unicorn.
Yeah.
And they have to rescue it while they're trying to do the spell.
So the embassy raid.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they ask the boss to go, and he goes, "No, I can't be seen doing that. You guys are going to have to go in undercover." But you could end this just by showing up.
PR won't allow. HR won't allow this.
Can you imagine?
But then he shows up later with a mask on.
You imagine the PR nightmare.
has a mask on.
Mysterious dragon
And he's
figure
like,
spotted.
I was never here. Hey, aren't you the... No.
I mean, in some legends, dragons are shapeshifters. So he could show up as a human and then be like, remember, thing I said earlier, wink.
Wink.
And then they're like, do you think that was...
But it's a dragon eye wink.
Yeah. It's the sideways.
Oh, yeah.
The Men in Black.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like
You
that.
keep trying. I don't think you can do it, Zach.
So is this human... I keep doing is this human maybe a shapeshifter?
Maybe. We could do that.
Why not?
Yeah. It's like, no way you're a normal human. They wouldn't assign a normal human to this department. He goes, PR.
It's like, nobody ties their shoes with gold, though.
Yeah.
He's like,
I don't.
PR. Okay, so if we're going to break it down to like a 90-minute movie, the thing that we like to do also is the arcs.
Structure.
Right? It kind of keeps us down to a good structure. So if we were to say, what are some key moments that would signify the arcs? Now, we need an arc for the Rangers.
Yeah.
We would probably need an arc for the boss, maybe.
I don't know so much. I think the boss is kind of immutable.
Okay.
Dragon's probably been around for 5,000 years.
Well, we definitely need a negative arc.
Yes.
Or
for fish people.
Or a positive arc.
We need an arc for the reveal.
Right.
We need to time out the reveal.
So the fish people are really looking for equality?
Yes.
Well, perceived equality, which is
or at
living
least
where they should not be able to live.
We could also messing with the fundamentals of nature. Which is what the Rangers are kind of against. But it could just be like,
oh, so they're like the time variance police, but for nature stuff.
They could be. They could have a department for that. What if those people show up at the end and they like blindfold the unicorn and lead it off, and they're like, "We were never here."
Oh, cool. So
they don't wipe their memories,
right?
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that.
I forget where I was about to go with that. I was on a good thing. So wait, what did we just talk about?
Why the fish people are doing what they're doing.
Okay, so what we're saying is that if it is a natural magic, that's illegal.
It could either be that, or they're looking
balance,
or they're looking. What if they're trying to flood the surface instead?
Oh,
just make it straight up like a straight up antagonistic role.
Yeah,
they're trying to flood the surface so they can live there, and who cares about the rest of the people?
Okay.
Or they're trying to flood the city, make it less scale.
Yeah, flood the city.
Yeah, and a unicorn
They're
magic,
trying to equal the balance of above and below.
Yeah, and unicorn magic is just powerful enough to overcome whatever protective stuff the city has.
And okay, but so they obviously need to get onto land to get
yes,
the unicorn.
They do. Right, they have their breathing apparatus.
So now the Rangers
probably have collaborators.
Now the Rangers are trying to stop this. Why? Because they're trying to upset the balance of nature?
Because they're trying to not make the city flooded and kill everybody who can't breathe water.
Oh, so they don't like water?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't like water.
So I'm assuming that like the possibility of the water is going to be right around here, right? Like it's starting to come up. It's like
I was going to comedically drink that for a long time, but I didn't like how it was
feeling. Anyway, I've never seen anyone slowly drink 8 ounces of water before.
Reveal of the plan. I think the end of the second act, just before things go bad for them.
That's the reveal?
Yeah, I think so. They've had their badges stripped. They've had their crossbows turned in.
Now, I'm assuming that the reason all this is going to happen is because we think the Rangers think that it's a different group then, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're not going to automatically think fish people.
No.
Fish people haven't been around like 12 years.
Which fish people? All we have is the embassy.
There's witch fish people?
No.
Fish witches?
Fish witch.
Oh God.
Which fish witch is which?
Obviously the first.
The issue
of the fish witch.
The fish witch issue.
Fish wishes?
Oh man.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. So we're gonna do what?
I think we should have a crime family who get blamed for everything.
Okay. Are they humans?
It could be.
Probably.
Yeah. And I think Dragon Boss points them in that direction first because Dragon Boss is constantly trying to stop them from stealing from its trove.
So human blame here, and we're gonna realize right around here, right, that it's not the humans.
Yeah.
That's when you get that.
Yeah. And I think the first act is them learning to respect their human team member.
I think we should do a thing in the first act that is like it's own little movie almost.
Sure.
Where the plot is the background.
Yeah.
And we have like a little capsulated thing. So we need like a second thing that we can stop so that way we understand how the team works.
It's their first raid as a team.
Yeah.
They are being sent to a Man, it's like those unfortunate like biofarms they have for bears.
Yeah.
Where they are like, what's a fantasy creature like produces something like maybe they're using a Medusa to create statues out of people and then selling those
statues. That's not bad.
And this is their raid on the Medusa Cabal headquarters.
Yeah, they have like just some Medusas tied
and
up. And
Snake Legs is having a real hard time with it.
Yeah.
Until they give her a pep talk.
Love that.
Like, you are not. Hey, you're the opposite of these people, figuratively and literally and professionally.
So while they're in this raid, though, they're also looking for the unicorn.
There needs to be. They're not looking for the unicorn yet, but there needs to be they need to stumble on sign that there's a bigger thing at play.
But I think that if we throw in the fact that like there is a unicorn in play,
oh sure,
you know what I mean? It's like, is this where they're keeping the unicorn? Like, no, this is the snake place or something like that, you know. But I like
we should have known based on what they were doing, based on the title of the Snake Place. Who names a club that?
Snake Snatchers.
I like the fact that it would be at a nightclub. They're raiding a fantasy version of a nightclub.
So cool, but it's like a garden with statues.
Yeah.
So this is a Medusa.
Everything here's for sale.
Statue.
They're all undercover as best they can be. The Minotaur is like.
Or there's like, it'd be cool is if there's like a cabal of like richer people and they have parties and the rich people say, I want that one, and they pick those people to turn into statues.
Oh, that's not bad.
Those statues.
There are very clearly people there of a different social class, and they indicate someone. It's like, you've been selected for a special audience with so and so, and then they get let out.
Oh, or it's these humans, and what they're doing is they're having parties for other creatures and taking statues of the creatures.
Okay,
so that's why we think it's the humans doing this.
That's not bad.
And then you get over here like,
cool.
We wouldn't touch unicorns.
Yeah.
Those things are creepy. They poop everywhere.
They don't think they're beautiful. They're creepy.
Yeah, they're too big. I could put 4 human statues in the same place as a unicorn statue.
It's bad efficiency.
It's just not smart.
All right, cool.
All right, so this is the whole Medusa statue raid thing.
Yeah, and so what do they discover at the crime scene to point them in the direction of someone trying to get rid of a unicorn? They're trying to steal a unicorn.
What if there was a fish person statue there?
Sure.
And they go, well, we haven't seen a fish person in like 10 years.
Person. Oh, and they go to the embassy of the fish people at first, and then maybe they see.
Like, we didn't do nothing. You go, wait, we have a fish person as a statue.
You never said you did.
Yeah. Wait, what do you guys got?
Listen, take this to the temple shrine on. Take this to the
because it's happened to be a diplomat.
Take this to the healing god shrine on Temple Street. They'll make sure he's restored to flesh and blood.
Then we could do a cool storyline where the humans are actually on the side of the fish people, thinking that they're doing fish statues.
There's a group of humans. Maybe it's like the gondoliers. Maybe their city has canals. Maybe the city has canals, and the gondoliers are working with the fish people to increase business.
Because a while ago, the fish people came and flooded some of the city.
And the gondoliers didn't know they were going to flood the entire thing. They were like, they just said they were going to raise the water level. They didn't say they were going to flood the city.
And obviously, I got a gondola. This is good money.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. So then the fish people are upset because they think the humans are stealing fish people to make statues. So the Rangers are hardcore working with the fish people.
At least at the start.
Yeah. Until right around this time. Something happens in this timeline. Okay, so what do you think is going to happen in this whole second act here?
What's the cross? So the first act is them stopping a statue smuggling ring who are turning people into statues with a Medusa or at least some sort of petrifying ability.
Yeah. With the connotation there is something else they're looking for.
Yes.
Yeah. When we find the fish person, we think that's what we're looking for.
What if they find... And these humans who are running the statue ring are in league with the fish people. Is that how we figured it out?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. They're at least in tangent. What if they find a whole bunch of political documents? What if they find a whole bunch of like diplomatic documents at the Medusa place, and they're like, oh, they were stealing like political stuff. I guess we should return these to the embassy.
Mm.
And that's their kind of window into that. And then while they're at the embassy... there needs to be a transition between the two.
Yeah, how do we push the unicorn?
What if, let's see, part of me wants to make this statue ring idea is really compelling. Actually.
No, I like that a lot, actually.
I might steal that and spin that off into my own short.
No.
IBM
TV owns that.
I don't think so.
Okay, so the Medusa statue ring, somehow we got to get this into it. So maybe...
Because you know what I mean? Like, they have the job, and then they... and then they run in, and then they crash their motorcycle, and Takashi is there, and then the government comes and abducts the psychics. That's Akira.
Yeah.
That's how that initial fight against the clowns turns into the story of Kaneda and his the other one
Tetsuo's
abilities.
Yeah.
That's how it veers. That sort of thing.
So okay, so maybe the unicorn thing has been going on for a while,
right?
And then we asked these guys like, "Where's the unicorn stuff?" And they go, "What are you talking about? Like, we don't know anything about unicorn stuff. We're just doing this statue thing."
They're taking like an inventory, and they're like, "And do you have any record of a unicorn statue coming through?" And they're like, "You can't make a statue out of a unicorn. The magic bounces off."
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we get the hint that the unicorns are particularly magically powerful.
Yeah,
like,
and also that we're looking for one.
Can't petrify a unicorn. You're looking for a unicorn? Kinda. I mean, some of the gondoliers we're talking about, I mean, they've been running trials on horses.
And then when we get from there over to back to the fish people embassy, then we're like, we have reason to believe you guys have these unicorns. And they're like, it's the humans. The humans are taking the unicorns because
we know better than to mess with unicorns after last time.
Yeah, when we flooded first New York.
To York.
Or first Tampa.
Tampa won.
Tampa 1 never stood a chance, honestly.
No.
All right, so then the second one is going to be the reverse reveal, right? Which is where they're on the side of the fish people, anti-humans, until something happens here.
What if they somehow? What if they knock some of the statues over, and so the dragon assigns them to like patrol route, or it's like, yeah, go to the rough. Like they knock some statues over, and they're like, oh, like they break an arm off a statue, and they're like, well, we're gonna have to somehow restore him and his arm separately. And then the dragon's like, you guys messed up. I'm reassigning you to beat work. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And then
I'm just curious where the story's going.
Well, and then they interview a bunch of people, and one of them won't stop talking about the unicorn they saw in the district. And they're like, what are you talking about, a unicorn in the district? There's no reason for one of them to be out of the gardens.
Now, and they saw the unicorn close to the Medusa statue place, but it's actually somehow tied to these guys.
They're on the. What if they're on the same street?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And people are like, no, I saw it over here. And I go,
yeah. There's a unicorn on the street.
Yeah, and you go, wait.
They're turning into
and they point to a map, but they point to the Medusa place, like, oh, this area right here. And you go, yeah.
Anybody record a unicorn statue? And it's like, well, no, you can't.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, and then they're like, well, someone in the area has had a unicorn here, and the sighting of a unicorn outside of like the city gardens or something is important enough that they have to look into it.
Sure.
And then the dragon's like, no, we don't want you guys messing up another one. We're gonna put the other squad on it. And it's like, this is our case. You gotta let me fly. You haven't seen the other guys.
We haven't had a unicorn case in like 40 years.
Yeah.
So
40 years, has it been that long? Feels like yesterday. Yeah, you're an elf.
Ugh.
You don't have to keep reminding us.
Yeah, whatever. I'm getting too old for this anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so
what's saying that for 150 years? Well, it's been true for 150 years.
Guess how old I am now.
So do you like the idea that they mess up at the end of this? They get reassigned to like beat duty.
Yeah.
And then they're recording an incident, and it's like, well, I wouldn't have kicked this cart. I wouldn't have kicked the stand over. He hadn't been so distracted seeing that horned horse. It's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, there's a unicorn out here. No, there wasn't.
Do you think there's such thing as a duocorn?
Like two horns next to each other?
Yeah, but like on a horse.
Sure.
Is that double magic or is that evil? I think about two horns are evil.
You think so? Minotaurs have two horns.
They have horns?
Yeah.
They evil?
No, not always. That one just like the mazes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. And then, so what's this middle portion?
Middle part is them, I think, trying to figure out. They go to the unicorn garden. They meet someone in the city is a collaborator with the fish people. I think they have a city official.
Well, there's an embassy.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, they're coordinating with someone in the city rulership to like be given a position of power when the fish people flood the city and take over.
Okay.
They obviously get their badges taken away.
Obviously.
For targeting a member of the city management.
Yeah.
And they think the boss has been bought out. They're like, hey, you know how much they offered you? How much did they like? They're getting dragged out of the office, and the Minotaur's like, how much did they offer you to sell us out? And he goes, get them out of my sight. PR. It's gonna be terrible for PR.
God, PR. This is a PR nightmare.
And then they go rogue. Maybe Snake Legs knew the Medusa that was in the statue ring and knew that like the Medusa was being like either they had their family, they had their brood because they have eggs.
We were in the same brood together.
They took her brood and they held it against her. She did not want to be making those statues. It's just what she does.
If there's one thing I know about Sally, she would never do this. She hates
Sally
statues.
the Medusa.
She hates.
Do Do you know how tiring it is when
Sandra.
you make? It's not an easy thing to make a statue out of someone. It takes energy out of you.
It's
Yeah,
like yawning, just harder.
And then they go to her and she helps them out.
Oh, the first Medusa?
Yeah.
She's a helper.
Yeah. And then she says, they ask her, and she goes, she knows. Well, she's like, no, they brought a unicorn to our compound, and they asked if I could do it, and you can't.
Yeah. Like who? The humans brought him here? Like
No.
the fish people.
The Gillers.
The guild.
The guild. Yeah. Oh, that's awful. Or I was thinking no E and it's just an apostrophe. The Gill comma or not the Gill apostrophe D.
What?
Apostrophe D. Oh,
Wait,
Gill apostrophe D.
Oh, okay. Now I thought you meant the normal guild. I'm like, no either.
The guild.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Either or.
Yeah, whatever. So the guild. That's actually kind of cool. All right. So the guild now, they know. Well, Medusa knows about the guild.
Yeah.
She's the one who tells. So that's right on here. So this is the Medusa.
She's the one who ultimately confirms their suspicions. Do they go back to? So here, I think they do get word of a unicorn missing.
Yeah.
Specifically, this squad does, and the dragon boss does not assign them to it. He assigns the other super squad to it.
Oh, the A squad.
So there's like a parallel movie going on, and about this time where they get the reveal, they have somehow closed the case, and the dragon's about to go public with the announcement.
And they arrested some humans.
You can't go public with this. That unicorn is out there, and they're going to use it.
There's one thing I know. It's PR. I'm doing this now.
Listen, they killed that unicorn and they ate it, and we have to go public with it.
You know how humans are.
They closed the case. Case is closed.
Case closed.
You're wasting all of our time, and if you continue this, it's not going to be your badges. I'm going to have you out on the streets.
Yeah, case closed. Like my blood. Are dragons cold-blooded?
I don't know. The dragons are probably hot-blooded just by consistency.
But they're like lizards.
They are lizards. Yeah.
But they're also like dinosaurs.
Sure.
I think dinosaurs are warm-blooded.
They also breathe dragon.
Do they? Oh, that's how they multiply. Huh?
They breathe fire. That's what I meant to say.
Like, dragon. All right, sorry about this. Okay, so I'm liking how this is going.
Yeah.
So we have the dual storylines going on where
I think
the A squad is doing humans.
I think they're pursuing the unicorn thing and then like on the secret, and then they're doing fake beat work where it's like, now tell me where do the goblin throw their mess? Like it's just goblins like wrecking stuff in the street. So
the A squad they're thinking the humans did it.
Yeah.
They're after the humans. They're doing the normal boring beat work. This is not good. B squad was our heroes. They're after the guild. They know what's up now. So what is B squad doing here?
B squad is these four?
Yeah, this is B squad.
Yeah. I think they are doing a facade of just street level work, but they're pursuing the fish people. I think they have an early suspicion that it's fish people, whereas A squad is going for human.
Because somebody keeps saying like, but it's kind of weird. That fish person was there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is weird.
They have names.
I don't know it.
I don't know his name.
I don't know his name.
Well, he's wearing a badge. It said Roger. Well, I didn't look at his badge.
Roger the fish person.
Roger the fish. I'm in like a naming.
We have a species name too. It doesn't come out in air.
Oh, okay. Actually,
it's quite beautiful.
That sounded really weird when I said it up here.
It's quite beautiful. You should really hear our artists sing in our hometown underwater.
Yeah, down there it's more like, but like way better.
Way better.
You know how the sound like an H makes? It's like that down there. All right, so we got that going on. So the last, right?
Yeah.
We have what? Eventually the A squad is working with fish people. Is it one of those tropes?
We could have that reveal.
Or the human
falls in love with the Medusa. I don't know.
Seen that too many times. The human is actually a shapeshifter.
I like that.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah.
But they're probably not bad.
No, they're not bad. They're just, it's unassuming.
Yeah. What is he, like a fish person that's...
No, I think he's just a shapeshifter.
Oh, okay.
And at the end, he's like, all right, I hadn't planned on telling you this because generally it's kind of frowned upon.
Ew!
And it's just a massive, it's just a mass of tentacles.
Yeah.
It's like, see, that's why, nobody reacts negatively to like a human.
How'd you get this job?
I went through the academy like you.
Hey, I'm a good test taker. What can I say?
I test well.
What's this last half
I fit
here?
in anywhere.
That's last third, which is
I think the last third is like a heist style thing where B Squad decides to take things into their own hands, and then we in parallel have like A Squad starting to like announce the closure of the case, and they have to like.
What's the end?
The end is them trotting the unicorn out. Excuse my pun. And I think the unicorn can talk. Why not? We'll make the unicorn a special case because unicorns are highly magical. Because they go in and they're like, all right, we found it. Like they found the unicorn. They're like, all right, how are we going to get this out? And it's like, I mean, you could just tell me where to go.
Yeah, I'll walk.
I'll walk. Just leave me where. Oh, I guess I never really took those stories seriously.
I've never met one of you before. One of me?
Well, yeah. You see another unicorn around here?
Well, I have a name.
What is it?
Steve.
Steve the Unicorn. All right. Steve the Unicorn and Roger the
I'm sorry. Do not like my name? I'm a unicorn.
It's short for...
Steven.
Get that ready. All right. No, I like the idea that they heist themselves into the embassy. Maybe the human shapeshifter...
Now, do they do it accidentally? Like they're breaking into the place to look for something else? And then they're like, "Oh my God, there's a unicorn here."
Well, yeah, no, I don't think so.
No.
But I think human shapeshifts into a fish person. And there's some, and like maybe he starts getting like grilled.
Oh, he
in
just
questions.
does a bad job.
He starts sweating.
Oh,
and they're like, and one of the fish people guards is like,
"What are you doing? You don't sweat."
I just took my respirator off, so it's just water.
Can't.
Salt. Yeah, it's salt water.
It smells like a human.
Salt water. It smells like sweat.
Yeah.
Salt water.
Ugh, also smells like Axe body spray though.
Axe. Battle Axe body spray.
Body spray. That's funny.
That's what happens when you use a battle axe on a person. That's what
the Minotaur comes up behind. He's like, "How about this axe?"
I put on my body spray to. Oh God,
oh, God.
That's awful.
This is bad.
When I'm reaching for when I'm ready for a day, I reach.
All right, so we got a heist. What's the heist?
I think the heist is them trying to get into the embassy at all, because I think we do the lethal weapon thing where it's like you leave those fish people alone. They're here for political discourse.
Okay, so now we know. Oh, so the heroes know that the fish people are bad.
Yeah.
But what does it? What's the thing? Because you can't just break into an embassy no matter if they're doing bad stuff or not. Lethal Weapon taught us that. They have diplomatic immunity. So we would need something.
Also, they're heisting. They're heisting in to get evidence. They're doing it against the book.
Cops are breaking the law?
Rangers are breaking the law. They're
Dragons
not cops.
Well, why do they got a boss who's like a cop or something?
He's a dragon boss.
All right, I guess they're all cops.
Their job is to enforce wildlife.
Wait, they're not police?
I don't think so.
They're like what? Like dog catchers?
They're like park rangers.
Oh.
But like in the city, they're like animal
so
control.
Snooty.
They're animal control.
All right.
They're glorified animal control, but for magical creatures.
All right, well, that's way better then. So there's got to be cops in this world that look down on them then.
Sure, the city, the guard, or the city watch.
Yeah, all right,
Yeah.
I like that. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, one of their first interactions is like the city. They clean up the Medusa smuggling ring, like the statues, and then the guards are like, "All right, this is our crime scene. Thanks, you guys did a great job.
Hey guys, you guys can't clean up the way we clean up.
You guys did a great job getting everything ready for us, but we'll take it from here." And they're like, "Oh, I hate when the watch comes in."
Watch. Yeah, that's cool. All right, and so the watch is also working.
Oh, the watch is in on the fish people thing. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so then somehow we do a non-legal heist, right?
Yeah.
And
maybe they get Dragon Boss to like sign off on like a warrant or something where it's like, hey, you have the power to let us do this once. Let us do this once. Now, if it's wrong, you can fire us. It's like, well, we're not going to fire you because then you have severance. You quit.
Maybe there's talk that the human is a shapeshifter the whole time.
Yeah.
Then when we get to the shape-shifting fish person,
he saves them by shapeshifting. It's actually the
Dragon Boss.
Oh.
And you don't realize it.
Oh.
You're like, oh, you were a shapeshifter the whole time.
There's a fish person who comes in and gets them out of it.
And the human walks in, you're like, I thought you were... What? And then it's like...
And then he winks and it's the dragon eye.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, all right, cool. So dragon reveal. A lot of reveals there. We don't have a montage yet.
No, we don't. I figure we have a montage right here when they're working their street level stuff where it's like, all right, and tell me when you saw the window was broken. All right, it was after that goblin was playing catch in the street with a rock.
We know about that.
You think you threw it through your window? Found a rock on the ground next to some glass. We'll look into it. Well, no, they wouldn't be doing that because that's
all cop stuff.
That's cop stuff.
Yeah,
they're like cleaning fire sprites out of someone's chimney.
What if there's like a zoo?
Yeah,
that has magical creatures, and they go there and start talking to them. Like, what do you guys know? You guys know something. Cops don't talk to you. Yeah. You slow down.
Yeah, hold on. But the elf, because they're an elf, can kind of like communicate with animals a little bit. So he's like,
"Hey, yeah, there was word a unicorn was going to come to the zoo
behind the ear." Yeah, behind the ear. I knew I'd find that spot eventually.
Clop, clop,
yep.
Clop,
all right.
Clop, clop.
Now, come on. I got to know. Any unicorn? Your unicorn gone missing? Because I don't know. Maybe the unicorn's the centerpiece of this or something.
And they go, "Yeah, it never showed up."
Never showed up.
He's like, what do you mean never showed up? Like, yeah, we're supposed to get a unicorn in the zoo.
Yeah.
Never showed up.
Yeah.
Heard a bunch of humans came and took them.
And it's fish people in like disguise or something.
Yeah,
they're in full body cloaks.
They're wearing Michael Myers masks of old William Shatner. Like, this is human, right? All right. Oh, do you want to work on a scene? Is there a scene?
So the thing about this is I could see this working really well as a novel.
Yeah,
I could see this working really, because this reminds me of Discworld by Terry Pratchett.
Yeah, I was going to say this actually reads more as
it kind of does. Yeah. We could do a Some Nobodies novel.
We've never done that.
No.
So instead of writing,
it's like Good Omens, where you do like where some of us write like individual chapters.
Yeah,
yeah.
So then instead of writing a script, do you want to write like a chapter or a scene?
I could write a scene for sure. Cool. We could do a reading.
We'll do a reading next week.
Yeah, that works for me.
Is there any scene?
I haven't written high fantasy in a long time, so this is going to be a nice kind of like stretch the legs moment.
That's true. We're not going to count that birthday card because that was low fantasy.
Yeah.
So what scene here?
Fantasy.
What scene sounds pretty cool? Like probably not the end scene.
No, I want to.
I like this scene.
I would like to write the raid on the Medusa. Compound.
So what we're going to need that scene is we need the party to go on.
Yeah, there's a garden party.
We need something negative to happen, which is why they're there.
Yeah.
We need them showing up. We need.
I kind of like it as them all being introduced undercover, like they're all attending the party, and it's all right, radio silence. You never know who's going to be intercepting, but keep it, if you see something, say something.
And why are they there?
They got a tip.
That they're smuggling animals out of there?
They're smuggling statues. I think this is the culmination of their statue case.
Okay, but why do the Rangers go there?
Because Medusa's involved.
Okay, because
petrification.
All right, cool.
Yeah. And they're not a creature, but they're still a magical wildlife.
Yeah.
Or they think there's another creature that can cause petrification called a... I think it's called a cadoplopause. It's like a semi-mechanical bull that breathes like a gas that petrifies people. It's in Castlevania.
Okay. I don't know if we want to use that. I think using Medusa does the same thing, and
they think it's a cadoplopause, and they find out it's a Medusa.
Okay,
and it becomes no longer a ranger thing. That's why the guard shows up, and it's like we're taking over. And it's like we did all the work. Yeah, you did.
Like, this is police now. All right, cool.
A cadoplopause, from the Greek word to look downward.
How do you spell that?
Catoblepas. It is a legendary creature from Ethiopia, first described by Pliny the Elder and later Claudius Aelianus. Resembles a Cape buffalo with its head always pointing downward due to its great weight. Its stare or breath could turn people into stone or kill them. Thought to be based on the real-life encounters with wildebeests, such that these dictionaries say the word is synonymous with gnu, the GNU.
Yeah.
Which is, It is also known as an African version of a gorgon.
Oh, cool. I've heard of a gorgon.
Yeah.
From Inhumans.
So they think they're raiding a group that is using like a cadoplopause or something similar to turn people into statues and then sell those statues, which is messed up.
Yeah, very messed up.
What they're
really doing is worse.
We get that little introduction of each of the character where it's like, all right, everybody writing the Minotaur is like in the corner, like as a waiter.
Yeah,
you had to be a waiter.
What about you, human? My name, my name is Lewis.
Are we doing what kind of name conventions are we doing?
What do you mean?
So fantasy.
Not Lord of the.
We're not doing Lord of the Rings style stuff. Okay.
Don't think that's.
I'm fine doing
if
that.
everybody has it, it's cool.
Sure. Because I'm wondering, a lot of fantasy will lift a naming convention from a real life civilization. Roman is very common. Dominus, Maximus, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
British is pretty common. Russian is pretty common. We are starting to see more and more fantasy published with like a Japanese background, Chinese background. There is some African fantasy that's getting published out there. It's pretty good from what I've heard.
Okay.
The Acacia trilogy. I don't remember the author's name, but that's the one that got a lot of attention a few years ago.
Did you have something in mind? Is that why you're asking?
No, I'm asking because we've talked about Steve, Roger, Lewis.
They're just stupid names to show up my brain.
Okay. I might just figure out what works.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't think it should be that big of a thing.
So one thing that has helped me,
because I will say, reading Game of Thrones was kind of hard because of the names.
Those are kind of a special case because those names are intentionally designed to be similar but different to British names of an equivalent time frame.
Sure, I just don't like it.
That's fine. So one thing that's helped me as a writer, and some people think this is a shortcut, it's a technique and a tool. There are websites out there that generate what people call Markov chains, where it's a computer program that takes words that you enter into a field, cuts them up and rearranges them, and then generates words based on the trends that have appeared in there. So you can find name generators out there.
Okay.
Look up Roman name generator, and you will get Roman-like names that aren't specifically Roman.
Oh, cool. All right.
Might wind up using some of that. I found an American one that generates names based on American first names.
Okay, like what?
Edwin, Hale.
Oh, cool.
Joham.
Okay.
Joham or something.
Yeah.
Barson.
All right, cool. Let's do that.
Daldon.
Yeah, so fake American names.
Fake American names. And then from the female list, Hethern, Debona, Harissa.
That's harissa. It's a spice.
It's an E, not an A at the start.
Oh, you're right. Then.
Corendra, Tamine, Rakora, that sort of thing.
Ugh.
Gallia is definitely a type of melon.
Don't get me started on Rakoras. They're the Karens of almost Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the scene that you're working on, that's cool.
And it'll be, depending on how we do the reading,
it'll
need to be shorter than I would probably naturally write it. But
because you have to like 2 or 3 paragraphs then, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh no, for this show timing wise, it would probably be 2 or 3
Yeah.
paragraphs. But for a full scene like this, it could go on, depending on what we do, 5 to 15 pages, chapter, and that's way too much.
All right, what else are you going to work on?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of the finer points in this can be filled in like the actual writing process. I think shifting this to a novel is probably the best way to go about it.
Yeah, I agree. Feature is cool. Obviously, you're looking at
we haven't done a novel either. We've done a graphic novel.
That's true. Yeah, all right, that makes sense. I like that. We do need a big bad though. I think you need one big bad.
Yeah.
And you're thinking it's a fish person?
I think so. The fish person, diplomat or something. And we have not a prologue, but they're leading him away. And it's like, I just got off the rune with the fish person president.
Now, would it be the human person who works in that embassy?
It might. As their collaborator.
Or the main, and then it's all.
I say we use that as a red herring.
It could be a double blame.
A what?
A double blame.
Oh yeah, we're both of them.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea that the human working in the embassy is innocent, but their contact is the one who's been kind of feeding them the incorrect information while going behind their back.
I like that.
With fish leader.
Now, if you had to make a name for this, would you still call it unicorn smuggling?
No.
Yeah, not anymore, right?
No.
So now, what is it? What are you feeling as far as name or genre, or not genre, like world building? Because there's probably a cooler name in there.
There probably is something like
the Guild.
Bean Guild.
Bean Guild.
That's not terrible. It's pretty bad, but it's not terrible.
Not Bean Guild.
No.
The Guild.
The Guild.
As this word.
I think that points it a little too heavily. I think it's too obvious, pointing towards the villain.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, we're gonna throw a bone here that it's like a fish people here. The fish people is something that no one has really used.
I'm feeling like this is a wordy title. What? Not wordy, but like more than just like 2 words.
Oh, okay.
Something like
like a phrase.
if we make it so that this takes place over the course of like a night or something,
or like maybe it's an era, because since the fish people have been going for a while.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a statute of limitations. Statute of limitations. A Hard Day's Night with a K. Ugh. Wait, there's no nights in here.
No, but it's fantasy.
Yeah, that's fair. Snake in the grass. No, I don't know. Yeah, honestly, I wish Mark was on here. Mark would have been a really good help.
Win actually said Piranha Man.
Piranha Man.
Piranha Man's not bad.
That's not bad.
And then, oh yeah,
who's Piranha Man?
I don't know. All right, we got to summarize this. We got to go.
Oh, okay.
We got about 35 seconds.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Thanks for watching Talking Upstream, our 90-minute writer's room where we develop an idea based on single line issues that we bring up beforehand.
And this one was unicorn smuggling. Now that little bit, we made apparently a novel. Going over a whole bunch of stuff with a conspiracy, a shadow organization, some humans that are bad, a bunch of our stuff. But this is what we do every single week, folks. And thank you very much. Thank you to IBM TV for letting us do this.
Thank you to Whatever Talk, Donnie and Kevin, for showing up.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
Yeah, go check them out too. Thank you to our Patreon members. If you do want to support, obviously, patreon.com/Some Nobodies.
Go to IBM TV and watch all the other shows they have on there. There's a lot, and they cover a lot of topics.
Yeah,
good.
The travel show of Brandon's awesome.
Yeah, I like the music ones. Alexandra May and the other Zach.
Yeah, there was Zach. Yeah,
other Zach, because I knew him first.
And then there's a weed show on Wednesday, which is kind of cool because we live in Colorado. So you'd think we'd be on there, but we're not.
I'm sure he'd be thrilled.
That's actually a way smarter show than I gave it credit for.
Oh, cool.
It's a lot about people that are doing time for marijuana crimes, which should not be there. So if that interests you at all, check that out on Wednesdays. Other than that, thank you very much.
We appreciate
time. You. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.